You already know what it is. You already know what it is. One time for the fan, man. One time for the fan. Pop-up show. We told y'all about it. Falcons Ain't Hate Week. Man, let's start the show. You already know what it is. You already know what it do.
Me.
Yeah, face that. One time for the fan. You know we back. You know we live. You know we lit. Every Wednesday, every Sunday, 8 p.m. But we doing a pop-up show. Got this Tuesday show. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna be doing this all the time, but you know what I'm saying? We trying to get y'all hype, get y'all ready for the season.
For the season, for week 1. This is hate week. Hate.
God damn, I hate those ain'ts, boy. Sheesh.
I need a hashtag hate week in the chat. Let's go with it.
Hashtag hate week. Hashtag one time for the fan.
Hashtag hate week. Let's get it.
You know we talking Falcons football. That's what we here for. You know we got respect for the Braves and the Hawks, United, the Dogs. Big win on Saturday from them Dogs too.
Big win.
But it's all about them. There it is. It's all about them Atlanta Falcons. So if you're here, hit that like button, hit that share button. First time here, hit that subscribe button. Got a special guest with us tonight. And I'm talking special guest. Real deal. Right? Miles Garrett, man, from Fox 5 is going to join us. Miles Garrett from Fox5Atlanta is going to join us. Here I said it, Fox5Atlanta. He's going to join us shortly, man. You know we're going to talk Falcons football. Love having people on the show, man. All the guests that we've had this season, the Ricky reports that we've done, the Falcon fan talks that we've done. Man, it's just on point. And to have Miles Garrett join us tonight and give us some information for where he sees the Falcons from his views, because he's pretty close to the damn Falcons. So it's really good to speak with him tonight. Chat is already going crazy, man. You know we love the chat. Ice Cold Wolf.
Ice Cold Wolf, what's good, dog?
What's good?
What's good, man?
DSGB Hall's in here, man. DSGB, yeah. Man, we 1 week away from hanging out now. You know I'm heading out to the West Coast, man. Bubba Gump is in here.
Bubba Gump, what up?
Bubba Gump, I used one of your gifts the other day in my Falcons chat. Somebody was talking about chasing after players on the field, so I used one of them Forrest Gump gifts.
He just kept running.
Just kept going. Sade, what's up, Sade? Sade in the chat.
What's good, Sade?
You already know it's hate week. Sade is ready. Sade been hating on them Saints, boy. Hating hard.
Let's get some more hashtag hate weeks in the chat. Let's run it up. Let's run it up.
Hate them.
It's hate week, y'all.
Hate. One time for the fan. James Dockery, what's good? Rise up from Kentucky. James.
Yeah, rise up.
Shout out to James Dockery in the chat, man. Anthony White is here. Rise up. What's good, Anthony? Kendrick Cox is in the building.
What's good?
Falcons football. Let's get straight to it, man. Gosh. It's about to go down in a major way. So, Falcons hit the practice field this week. Right? And Arthur Smith had some comments on Monday a lot of fans still didn't know if Drake London was going to practice. They didn't know what the situation was. Shortly after Arthur Smith made the comments about Drake London saying that he's progressing, Drake London hits the practice field and he's working out with the trainers. It was a light practice on Monday too as well. So it was good to see Drake back, right? But Tuesday now, today they dropped the depth chart on us. Right?
Game day depth chart.
You got the game day depth chart out here, and you know how it is, man. We've been waiting for that for a while. And we've been talking so much here on One Time for the Fan about the depth chart, about the roster, the 53. But some names are a little bit surprising to see going forward here on Sunday against the Aints. Of course, Drake London being back at wide receiver 1 is something I think Falcon fans already knew. That's your franchise wide receiver. And if he's good to go, put him out there.
He's playing.
Marcus Lattimore has a lot to deal with on Sunday. Way more to worry about than just Drake London. Because you got Kyle Pitts over there, Cordell Patterson. This offense is going to be explosive. I can't wait to see it starting on Sunday.
I can't wait.
We already knew Elijah Wilkinson with that guard spot. We talked about it over camp, over the summer. The center position is one that everybody was focused on. Now, Arthur made some comments saying he knew who the center was, but he's not going to name the center just right now. Just wait till the depth chart comes out. So on Monday, fans heard some of the reports of Hennessy taking snaps with the first team, Dahlman taking snaps with the first team. So it was like, well, what's going on? Tuesday, depth chart comes out. Drew Dahlman is your starting center. We talked about this over the summer, Bodie. Oh, hold on. Before I even get to the Falcons, Bodie, how you doing, man? You see how we jump straight into this damn Falcons? I'm so ready.
My feelings.
I'm so ready to get to these damn Aints, man. How you doing, Bodie?
I'm over here just don't care about nothing. I'm just over here I'm great.
Man, I'm ready to snap on these Aints, man. I'm ready for Sunday, but go ahead, Bodie.
It's a great day to be a Falcon fan. I say that a lot, but somebody gotta say it. I'm ready, bro. I'm just ready for week 1. It's hate week. We hype. We bringing these shows. We cranking these shows out for y'all, man, because we want y'all to be hyped with us, man. It's great. It's great. It's great.
Just sent the link to Miles. Miles, cool, man. Super cool. Always giving the facts on Twitter. Always giving the facts about the Falcons. So when I had the opportunity to get somebody on this show who I know Falcons fans want to hear, I had to reach out to Miles, man. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Miles Garrett. We're going to find out a lot about him, find out a lot about the Falcons here shortly. But the depth chart, right? We talked about it over the summer with Drew Dahlman and the Matt Hennessy situation.
Yeah.
Drew Dahlman won that battle. Remember what Coach said when he said what the 3 positions were up for grabs on that O-line?
Yeah.
That guard spot was up for grabs. Elijah Wilkinson took the spot. That center spot was a competition battle to watch over the summer too as well. Drew Dahlman took the spot. The right tackle spot was the third one, I'm guessing. It's got to be.
That was the spot. That was the spot. Come on.
Don't do my boy Jakey like that.
Sheesh.
But Caleb McGarry, he won the spot.
He did.
Beat out Jermaine Ifedi. And I know what Falcon fans are thinking. McGarry's on that 1-year deal type situation. Not 1-year deal, but he's getting ready to either get the bag or go.
Absolutely.
You traded up for that guy a couple drafts ago. Am I right, buddy?
We did. We absolutely did. Yep.
Chris Lindstrom, I remember that situation at the Bends when Falcon fans were looking around like, who? Who did we just draft?
I'm sure I was there saying who too.
I remember they had the train.
Everybody,
they were blowing the horn. All the fans were, huh?
Everybody wants the sexy pick. Everybody wants to go get a wide receiver or go get a defensive player or something, But those trenches picks, we need those. We need all of those. So,
but guess what? The Chris Lindstrom pick worked out. He's your starting guard.
He's gonna be here for a while.
He's been there. He's gonna be here for a while. He's playing well with Jake Matthews. Miles Garrett is jumping in the lobby. Oh, snap! Miles Garrett's here. Oh, snap! Oh, snap! For real. This is how we're gonna do, Falcon fans. Zacchaeus as your number 2, buddy.
Yeah, well deserved. I mean,
Well deserved.
He stayed healthy. He stayed healthy all camp. Edwards, he did his best. I mean, he was hurt. But Zacchaeus deserves it. Say good night.
Good night. Let's go ahead and get Miles. Let's go ahead and get Miles in here. Can't keep Miles waiting. We do not keep Miles waiting.
How's it going, guys?
Man?
How y'all doing?
Hey, good. Man. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Awesome.
Great day today to be a Falcon, Miles.
Indeed, always. Depth chart's finally out. Things are looking good. I like
Falcon shirts, Falcon hats, Falcon flags.
I know, man.
Falcon chains, man.
Over here, I'm lagging.
You know what I'm saying?
I see your white walls back there. I'm trying to see the Falcon. Where the Falcon at?
He got some Falcons gear there. I know he got some Falcons around here somewhere.
This is actually, it's funny. I'm actually at my parents' house right now, so this is our guest room. So yeah, not quite as many. I got a. Here we go. Yeah, I got a throwback Coca-Cola bottle with the.
There you go.
All right. There you go. Put that over here somewhere.
Miles Garrett joining us from Fox5Atlanta. Miles, how are you doing? How's your day going? How's your weekend? How's your week going? Like, what's going on, brother?
It's going good. I'm excited that game day is finally rolling around. It's been a long off season, very, very eventful off season. This might be the most eventful off season I've ever seen in my life. So I'm excited to see everything put together finally. So it should be fun.
Definitely, man. It's been interesting over the past.
That's to put it lightly.
4 or 5 months. The quarterback situation, off-season moves that's been made. We're gonna get to that, but before we do, I mean, just let the fans know just a little bit about Miles Garrett, brother.
Sure. Well, Miles Garrett, not the defensive end for Cleveland. We'll get that squared away.
I saw that on your Twitter.
Oh yeah, no, everyone always. I always dread every time he has a big game because my inbox and my notifications just explode. But so I am Miles Garrett with an I, the sports reporter. I started off in Macon, Georgia. That was my first market covering news and sports. Went up to South Bend, Indiana for a couple years to cover Notre Dame. And I came back down here. I'm originally from here, from Atlanta, and I work at Fox 5 Sports now. And specialty is the Atlanta Falcons, but I cover pretty much everything. So that's what I do for Fox 5.
Man, we're going to get to a little bit about your job shortly, but sounds already like you got your plate full over there with what you got going on.
Oh, yeah. There's always something going on.
Definitely. Miles, you know what we do here on One Time for the Fan? We talk Falcons football, right?
Absolutely.
Game day is just a couple days away. Falcon fans are joining in the chat here because they want to know about what's going on with the Falcons. So we can kick this thing right off. We have a good time tonight, man. I got my a little light drink tonight. A little light.
Rise up.
Just
there we go.
Rise up. Exactly.
But I'm trying to get into that pregame type of mode before I get out there to the Benz on Sunday.
Absolutely.
And then help create that hostile environment that Terry kept talking about in the off season. So just going right into it. I mean, being a producer for Fox5Atlanta, covering the Atlanta Falcons, what are some of the things that you would say that you do, and how cool really is your job?
Oh, it's a dream come true. I mean, it's truly is a blessing to be able to do what I do in Atlanta. I grew up watching the Falcons, the Braves, the Hawks, all these teams here in this area, and to be able to be there, in the locker room, on the field as your office, it's incredible. It really is a blessing that I'm able to do this every day. But yeah, as far as what I do exactly, it kind of differentiates per week. My job title is sort of specific to the Atlanta Falcons. Fox 5 is partners with the Atlanta Falcons. So we are basically in charge of putting on their shows. So we have 3 official shows, Early Birds and Rise Up Tonight. That airs Friday nights and Saturday mornings.
The new show with Kelly and Tori.
Yes, that's Rise Up Tonight with Kelly and Tori. I'm the head producer for that show.
Nice.
As well as Early Birds with Justin Felder and DJ Shockley. And that airs Saturday mornings. And then after the game, Sunday nights, we have the Dirty Bird Report, which is an hour-long show. I also produce that show. So We have those in addition to our pregame and postgame shows, depending if they're on Fox. Pre and postgame, it kind of depends on the game we have. So a lot of Falcons content. So during the week, like tomorrow, Wednesday is usually my busy day. So we have a crew that goes to Flowery Branch. Well, tomorrow, in this case, it'll be Mercedes-Benz Stadium. To interview the players, get our one-on-ones with them, whatever the storyline is for the week. And my job basically is to put together all that content in the show, make sure it times out correctly, and it all airs. And occasionally I'll have some on-air segments with that as well. Tomorrow I'll have one that I'm pretty excited to share. I won't mention it just yet, but it's kind of a fun segment I'm planning on doing for early birds. Yeah, that's kind of how the week goes. Friday nights, sometimes I'll cover high school football like I am this week. Saturday, I'll be covering Georgia Tech. I'll be at their stadium and doing a report there. And then Sunday's game day. So it's a full week.
When do you have time to sleep?
No, it's not so bad right about it. I will say it got crazy last year when the Braves went to the World Series. That we had to do the Falcon shows and then do the Braves. That's when things got pretty hectic and there wasn't a lot of sleep. But we've got a pretty good routine going now.
For that moment, though, I mean, I know we talk about the Falcons here, but just for a Braves fan, because we're big Braves guys here too as well. How was that moment? I mean, I know you're doing your job too as well, but you're trying to be a fan too as well. You're doing your job. Like, how is it where you're trying to report and you got the celebration going on and the Braves fans going crazy? Like, just tell me just a little bit about that.
Oh man, that was just a whirlwind because you do have to manage sort of your fandom versus your job at the end of the day. But no, I mean it didn't even feel real, to be honest. I mean, as an Atlanta resident, I never thought I'd see a championship. So it was crazy to actually witness that in person and be in all those games because it is hectic. You have pregame specials where we do the same thing with the Falcons. You put in highlights and you get interviews and sometimes it's all happening live. So like we have cameras ready in the locker room and I got to wait for Brian Snitker to be online. I'm just like, wait, don't take him yet. Take Brian Snitker when he comes on. So it's a whirlwind, but no, that was truly an awesome experience and something I really hope I can do again this year as busy as it was.
I think it could be possible. The Braves are looking really good right now.
Be round 2 of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bodie, do you hear everything that Miles got going on here, man? I mean, we try to do enough just with the podcast, but gosh,
I'll say this. I kind of wanted. I figured out in later life that I actually wanted to do like sports and broadcasting and stuff. Didn't think about how much it took. Like your plate is literally full. Like you're a hardworking man. So kudos to you, man. That's all I got to say.
I will say it's not much of work. It's not as bad when you really enjoy doing it, though. I mean, not many people get to do this. Covering the Falcons and the Braves, as your job. I mean, there's a lot of worse things to be doing out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from a podcast level, we love it too. I mean, that's why we continue doing it. We have our show every Wednesday and Sunday. We have these pop-up shows in between because we're getting fans ready for Falcons Aints. I had to say it here.
Of course.
It's the fan in me. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. I put it in the show. We're going to say it too. It's okay.
Yeah. Now, I did notice that you was at the Falcons Jets in New York reporting for that too as well. So you go on the road with the Falcons as well.
Occasionally. Right? It depends on the week. One of our other reporters, Victor Prieto, he's more of a producer. Okay. As am I, but he's more of a behind the lens type guy. He'll be doing more of that because he's just a wizard behind the camera. He'll get these shots that look fantastic, and you'll probably see a lot of them this season. But he does most of the away trips this year. My away trips will be Seattle, Tampa, and potentially Carolina. So those definitely Tampa and Seattle are set in stone.
So I'll see you in Seattle.
Oh, nice. All right.
I'll see you in Tampa.
Awesome.
And I'll see you in Carolina too as well.
Man, going to all of them. I love it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you were going to LA because I'm already my bags are sitting right here. I'm packed. I don't know if you want to see it. I got my jerseys. I got everything.
You got it all set up already. I love it.
I'm ready to go, man. Hey. We do this, man. Die hard. Bodie will be with me. New Orleans and Carolina. But every other game, I mean, we have a pretty good group of fans that travel to these away games too as well. So I'll let you know more about that too as well.
Please do.
Because we bring about I mean, the group that we have is over 730 something people right now. So we do.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we tend to stay at the same hotels and go to the restaurants, and then we have a meet and greet.
For a fun party.
yeah, we have a meet and greet every Saturday night too. So it's always kind of fun. We actually have a scavenger hunt in Seattle, going through Pike Market Saturday morning.
There we go.
So I don't know if you want to get involved in the scavenger hunt. It's the Amazing Race style. So
yeah,
you see some Falcons fans running all over Seattle. Like, what is going on out here?
Hey Miles, I'm surprised you don't recognize this guy over here to my
well, that's the thing. I actually don't.
He's probably heard me
he's
before.
everywhere.
I probably heard him. I actually don't usually go to a lot. This year is actually the most games I'll be traveling to. Usually I'm at the station behind the scenes. So this season maybe that'll change. I'll see you out there a little bit more.
Yeah, so definitely. If you got some free time on the weekend too, come out to one of our events that we have.
For sure.
We'll look out for you as best as we can, because every time we go to a city, we want Falcon fans just to have a good time and to hang out with other Falcons fans. Sometimes you go to a city where there's Six Flags, fans want to go there. Sometimes you go to a city where it's like Minnesota a couple years ago, Mall of America, people want to go there. So we try to organize certain things where fans can meet up and just be together in a group. But it started with 2 people, and now it's over 700. So it's definitely
moving. The empire, man. I love it.
Yeah, man, we're doing the best we can. But Falcon fans want to know, Miles. We'll get right to it, man. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some
football. Let's do it.
I was going to hold this question for the last one, but I can't. I got to do it right now. What do the Falcons need to do to beat these doggone Aints on Sunday?
So my big thing is they need to get the run game going. Mm-hmm. They need to get the run game going, and they need to force Jameis Winston to become Jameis Winston again. Mm-hmm. Force those errors, make him confused, and just get the run game going. That's what the Arthur Smith offense is set on. It's establishing the run, creating play action opportunities. And now you have those opportunities a little bit more with a more mobile quarterback and Marcus Mariota, who can spread the field just a little bit more and extend plays than perhaps Matt Ryan did in the past. So this sets up the run game a lot more. Cordero Patterson, he's a little bit up there in age, but he still appears to still have what he had last season. So we're trying to see if that can continue and maybe set the tone with Damian Williams and Tyler Algier. This is something that they're really emphasizing. They really want the run game to go. And my prediction personally is if they can get over 100 yards rushing, they will win this game.
Bodie.
That makes sense.
Bodie,
that makes sense. I mean, yeah, you're right on the nail on the head with that one. I mean, I said the same thing, and we need Jameis to be Jameis again. Yep. Like we need him throwing interceptions our way. It's just really big to think about us going, the Falcons actually coming together and just winning this game, because Jack said that if we go 1-0, that'll be the first winning record in like how many years?
Wow.
5? A long
1-0. Just imagine just 1-0.
Just 1-0. So just think about that. Everybody, Falcons fans, just think about that. That's a big deal. So
yeah,
I'm just amped. I'm excited. We got to beat them. This is a must-win game. We got to win it.
To piggyback off what Miles said, I mean, look at the Detroit game. Even though it's preseason, I mean, we started out with just tearing up the run game. Put Detroit in a position pretty early where you was like, man, the Falcons got 100+ yards at the half.
Yeah.
Even with, I know Caleb Huntley. I mean, I know Mariota and Ritter had a big bulk load of that, but it's good to see what we haven't had in the past few years, a mobile quarterback who can extend the play. And I'm a Matt Ryan guy. I'm a big Matt Ryan guy.
You're one of the few. I respect it.
Yeah, trust me, man. Those debates and those arguments inside those group chats, it goes.
Twitter, he's gone. It's still happening.
No comment.
He's my guy, man. I mean, 13, 14 years. I mean, that's a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
for those years,
I think it's okay to admit that he was a great quarterback for a long time, but it was, I think, mutually beneficial for both sides to part.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. It was just time. I mean, I think we were spoiled with the Vic stuff.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, we had a great quarterback for 13, 14 years, but when you get back to that mobile, and we haven't seen that since 2005. So it's
not just, it's the way the game is played now. I mean, almost every single quarterback, maybe with the exception of Tom Brady, is mobile now. I mean, it's just every single one of them are. He must not be named. My apologies.
Oh God, I'm about to start crying. Oh God,
my heart started fluttering.
That's the way the game's played now. I mean, every quarterback now seems to have some aspect of mobility. Whether that, I mean, again, what that is might be good or bad, but they have some degree of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted the farewell tour for Matt at least. Like,
my big thing with the Matt Ryan, big thing with that was how it ended.
Played out.
Like,
how it ended.
He didn't deserve that. That was my thing. I was like, that was kind of a crappy way to go out. But past is the past. Season's about to start.
But bonus question: do you think the Falcons, should have entertained the Deshaun Watson situation? Get the quarterback like that, that's talented like that, is very rare. So, do you think they were wise to do that?
So, my thoughts behind, again, I know this is such a, I don't know if it's divisive, but this is a very, controversial topic currently. I would say I liked the idea of what the Falcons were doing. I liked how they were shooting for the stars. I know that's basically what, the name of the game is now. You get that superstar quarterback, who knows where you can go.
Yeah.
I just have my own maze about this whole Deshaun Watson situation. I didn't like what I was hearing. I didn't like the reports of what I was hearing. And and the big thing with me too was, especially with the Falcons, after everything that went down with Michael Vick, to go from that Matt Ryan almost back to that same situation. I was like, this is not like, why are we going for the same type of, I know a different situation, but to where we're going for this controversial issue again. So that was my thoughts behind it. I like the idea of what they were trying to do, but definitely not the player, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I'm with you as well on that. I know that, especially from the organization with Arthur, he's trying to keep things in the locker room. He don't want no media attention. He don't want special players. Even the Calvin Ridley situation was kind of tough, but you don't want that Watson situation dealing with that Falcons flowery branch. You're trying to.
That would have been the whole story of camp. It wouldn't have been anything else.
Every day.
We wouldn't have been talking about Drake London. We wouldn't have been talking about anything. The whole story would have been Deshaun Watson.
Bodie, I know you got the professor. We call Bodie the professor.
Class is in session. Let's go.
So, alrighty.
Oh, Bodie got
basically, I know that, as you know, the Falcons have been through a lot in the past 6 years, especially being, declining, after that game.
We don't talk about that here. We don't talk about that. It never happened. It never happened.
And then that saw a whole new regime come into the fold. So basically, what can you say about this new regime that you noticed that has the Falcons headed into the right direction? Terry Fontenot and the coach and the staff.
Yeah, I think the big thing is funny too, because I actually ran into Terry Fontenot at the suit store today. So me and actually got to hang out with him a little bit outside.
Drip.
That's funny.
Dripping out.
That was really funny. Yeah.
Is this the game day drip, or is this like just regular?
I was getting my game day drip. I don't know what he was getting, but his was in the bag. But regardless, I actually do. I really, especially Arthur Smith, I really like him as a head coach. Terry Fontenot, I feel like I need to get some more time to see how his picks and all those guys actually progress. Because last year, all we really saw was Kyle Pitts. Richie Grant didn't see the field too much, still needed to develop. Some of these other later round guys. And, this year we get to see Drake London. We get to see guys, especially in this draft, who will most likely be starters. This isn't like a draft where, just the first round pick will play. You've got Troy Anderson, who might be a starter next. I don't see Troy Anderson being a starter this year. But Arnold Ebiketie definitely going to be playing at some point, getting some pressure on the quarterback. We're going to see these results very quick. But now I think this year we'll see, guys like Richie Grant finally be able to make an impact. So I will hold judgment just a little bit when it comes to Terry Fontenot, but I will say one thing about him. He's been phenomenal at free agency. I really like what he's done in the free agent pool, especially with Cordell Patterson and finding these maybe 1 year prove it deals with some certain players, which is why I really like the Marcus Mariota deal. I think he's on a prove it year. Whether he gets re-signed long term, I doubt it. But the team has certainly responded extremely well to him in camp and during these preseason games. I think you guys have seen a glimpse of it as well.
Who was there?
He's not the same quarterback that he was before. He's learned some things in Vegas. He learned some things in Tennessee. So I think he's primed for a pretty good season. But I do like Terry Fontenot's ability to scout talent that's already in the league.
Yeah. I must say, for a GM, I think Terry's doing a pretty good job right now, especially with the cap situation that he had to deal with.
The money's a big part too. The money's a big part. That has to be because he hasn't had a lot of money to play with, and next year the checkbook's finally open, so that's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, which makes the fight better for a lot of these players, Bodie, because like you said, some of these players are about to, they're going to shine. Some of these stars. Rashard Evans could be a player. Damian Williams.
Lorenzo Carter, perhaps.
Lorenzo Carter.
That's
we want Lorenzo Carter.
I've been praising his. I've been singing his praises since we signed him. I said way back in April, I said he should lead this team in sacks. Like that should be the plan. Like
that's why he was brought in.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, it's just so much. Like you said, the prove it deals. Everyone's hungry. These guys are hungry, so they're coming in here to prove it. Literally, what it says. So man, it's gonna be great.
I just like seeing the picture of Terry when he got like the Terminator eyes and he's on.
That's one of my favorite memes. I love it. Terry's at it again.
Terry strikes again. Bodie talked about that too as well when he found Brian Edwards. Just made that move during the middle of the summer, and you're like, wait a minute, hold on. Brian Edwards, like for most fans, I mean, fantasy guys might not say Brian Edwards was like the biggest guy to go to, but real fans of the game of the football knew how the Raiders team was set up, and you're like, damn, the Raiders were definitely going to use Brian Edwards a lot more this year. Even though they had Devontae Adams, they had Hunter Renfrow, they're going to be using Waller a lot. So when the trade came over, and I said, wait a minute, we got Brian Edwards. I said, Bodie, can we get a breakdown of Brian Edwards, please, on the next show?
My thing with that, and I had to do my research, was there's a whole new regime over there in Oakland. So Brian Edwards is a previous regime's player. So they weren't too attached to him.
Yeah.
So smart as Terry was, he scouted that roster. And he was like, hey, what y'all want for Brian Edwards? And they threw him he said, just throw us his late round pick. That's what I like. And that, like you said, Miles, I mean, that's just great. Just great scout for talent.
Great scouting, great mind. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So here's just a bonus question, if you don't mind, Miles.
Sure. No, absolutely.
Looking at the depth chart, Matt Dickerson is on your game day for Sunday. But Matt Dickerson was just signed this week. I mean, was that going to be the move you think Terry was going to make? That's not a splash move. I know it's another body to help your D-line, but there was some other free agents still available, and then they bring in Matt Dickerson now. I know he's familiar with Pease a little bit, but I thought he was going to go straight to the practice squad. He's playing Sunday. I mean, any thoughts about Matt Dickerson, of what you heard or anything?
To be honest, I haven't heard a lot about some of the new guys that have been brought in, especially since I believe it happened after final cuts, was it not? Yeah. So
after the 53, yep.
So after that, we were kind of left in the dark as far as some of these new players, and especially myself. I haven't exactly been in too many of the practices since then, but I mean, I think a big part of that has to be the progression of Marlon Davidson as well. He hasn't exactly turned out like I think the previous regime got him, but exactly what they had envisioned for him on that defensive line. He's been given some chances, had some injury problems as well. Now he's on injured reserve for the time being, but I can't imagine that'll be long. But at the same time, you have to recognize that he also hasn't progressed as they'd like him to. So you're going to have to find some other way to create something next to Grady Jarrett, because he can't do it all by himself. So you get someone who's familiar with Dean Pease's system, can't hurt.
Yeah, and I like the Abdullah Anderson move of having him out there too.
I did like that.
He was very productive in the preseason. But yeah, I trust what Terry and the team is doing. Excuse me, I'm a guy for the organization. I love the logo. I love what they're doing. Any 53 that you put out there, I'm gonna rep.
Yeah.
So
sure.
I trust that the organization. I'm not part of the organization. I ain't part of the media. I'm not part of the locker room. I'm a fan, a diehard fan. But what I see from the outside looking in is Terry and Arthur are doing a great job so far with what they have, especially with the money, rebuilding this team in the right direction. And I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm going to the LA game. I know how tough that LA game is. I'll be there. I don't care. All the games. I'm just a diehard.
A little worried about the offensive line going against that defensive line.
Just going against Aaron Donald. Not even
going against Aaron Donald.
By himself. Yep.
Going to the next question here. I mean, you spend a good amount of time covering the Atlanta Falcons. Can you let us know what players Falcon fans should be excited for this season? I know you mentioned Tyler and some of the running backs, Cordell Patterson, Damian Williams, but what other players should we be excited for this season, Miles?
I would say the first one that immediately comes to mind is Richie Grant, because of what we didn't see last season. He was picked in the second round for a reason. He's going to be slated as a starter finally this year. And he's made some very good progress from where he was last season. Him as well as D. Alford. I think D. Alford might potentially start some games for this team.
Hello, man. That's our guy.
Yeah. And I mean, this guy came from the CFL, wasn't a lock to make the team before the preseason. And you saw what happened in the preseason. He was involved in almost every play. So I'm expecting big things. Basically, the secondary. I mean, the secondary is arguably the strength of this team right now with AJ and Casey and Jalen Hawkins potentially taking a bigger step as well. But yeah, definitely those guys. On offense, it's pretty basic. Pitts is going to have a big season. Everyone's excited to see Drake London. Brian Edwards, I think, is another guy who might get some of the not as much attention, I guess, as the Pitts and the Londons of the world, and could get some of these catches, more touchdowns than the other ones. So it's a bit of an unknown, but yeah, definitely those three guys are the ones I have an eye on for who could potentially burst out this year.
And that's great to know. Because we did a little breakdown earlier this year of some of the new receivers we have compared to the ones we had last year. And Brian Edwards' numbers from Oakland, better than Christian Blake's.
Well, you just got to look at the size. I mean, the size and just who was starting. Like the fact that Olamide Zaccheaus was your number one receiver last year, that's a problem in and of itself. Like Olamide Zaccheaus is at best your number three. Like you'll have him as a number two if things aren't going well. Like having him as a number one, that's bad. You just on sheer size alone. That's a problem. Just the size of everybody last season. It's night and day compared to what it is this year. So the receiver room's almost completely been transformed outside of Olamide Zaccheaus.
Absolutely.
One player you mentioned, we did a Bodie's breakdown about that a couple weeks ago. Bodie, D. Alford. You got a couple quick notes about him. What team he played for in Canada and what college he went to?
Of course, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and he played for Tusculum University in Tusculum, Tennessee, which I had never heard of until I looked it up. I mean, his story is fabulous, almost like Bernhardt. Like they're right there, they're neck and neck. Both of their stories are fabulous. I just love it. So, yeah, D. Alford. Oh man, like you said, he should start. He's been all over the field. We went to the training camp where he had 2 picks, and I lost my voice that day. That was crazy.
Especially with Isaiah Oliver's recovery from his injury, he might end up getting some time while he still is trying to get back to 100%.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of D. Alford. I'm going to go ahead and grab that jersey too as well before I head to one of these games this season. Got another question here, and the chat is just booming. Shout out to the chat. I know y'all always bring some questions and some comments. Falcon fans, you got some diehard Falcon fans in this chat, Miles.
I love it.
Like, diehard. And after this video, you're going to see some more fans who get a chance to tune in. I know there's some more Falcons podcasts that's out there tonight. And shout out to all those content creators, too, as well, who's out there doing the best they can to cover the Falcons. Miles, got another question for you. Falcons do have a tough schedule this year. I know some people just look at the names like, oh, the Bears, oh, we'll beat them. It's the Bears. Oh, the Commanders? Oh, we'll beat them. But if you look at the breakdown of the team, I mean, some of these teams can present a problem for the Falcons. So some fans are already counting the team out. Like, oh, might as well just tank it, get the top 10 pick. Let's worry about next season. You're not telling none of those guys in the locker room to do none of that. I can tell you right now, you would never. None of these fans that say tank would walk into that locker room, go face to face with one of those players and say, just give it up this year, man. It's not going to be what it is. None of those players want to hear that. They're fighting every day to make this team better. But for some of the fans who are counting the Falcons out already, what do you have to say to that? I mean, the season hasn't started yet, so fans have to believe in something, right?
What I will say about the 2022 Falcons is that I think even the most optimistic Falcons fan does not expect this team to make the playoffs or make any kind of threat in the playoffs, that type of thing. But what I will say is I don't think they'll be the worst team in the league like everyone seems to be projecting for this team. I think this team is going to perhaps win more games than they will last year, not by a lot, but I don't think the record will be reflective of how much better they were from last season. Because the schedule it's a lot tougher than what it was last year. Last year, they had a relatively easy schedule. So they won some games, the games they should, whereas the games that were any kind of, competition or playoff teams, they got blown out. But I do think they will be competitive this year. And I think the big thing this year is that see if there's progress. See the guys are buying into what Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot are doing here. And also recognize that all this money is coming off the books next season. If you see progress this year, imagine how much they can build on it going into next season. If you see Desmond Ridder at some point, which I imagine we will. I know Marcus Mariota is the starter, but I imagine that we're going to see a little bit of that. That gives you a glimpse into the future of what you can surround him with. I imagine a lot of that money is going to probably go to the offensive line. We might see some offensive line struggles this season outside of, your mainstays and Jake Matthews and Chris Lindstrom, but you might see some really good things. Like Kyle Pitts looks like he's about to become a monster this season. I know we saw glimpses last year, but he's about to explode in the red zone and scoring touchdowns finally. Drake London, I mean, there's a reason he was taken as the first receiver in this draft. So you have a lot.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, you have a lot of cool pieces here to build off of, and the defense as well. You've got some young guys to look at now. Richie Grant, AJ Terrell, arguably a top 3 cornerback in this league. Casey Hayward, a former Pro Bowler now. And, you also have guys that you draft in this draft that you may not even see yet. Troy Anderson, as I was saying earlier, he is 6'5". This guy runs like a deer. This guy can figure out how to play line. If he can figure out how to play linebacker at the next level, watch out, because this guy is an athletic freak. So for those Falcons fans, just I would say have patience, but don't write them off if you're not seeing them compete for a playoff game this year, because I think this year is all about what you're seeing. Are they buying in and are they competitive?
Bodie,
exactly.
You agree?
Yeah, exactly. I was saying the same thing. Like it's about growth. I want to see new players grow. I want to see new stars made.
Who's this year's Cordero Patterson?
Exactly. Exactly. That's my point. I can't wait. And I know it's gonna happen. It happens every year, And like you said, it's just young. I think the fans are they just don't know. It's so much turnover from the team. It's just the unknown. So they're thinking, okay, Mariota, he was second pick back in 2015 or whatever it was. Yeah. And he's not it. He's not it. Oh, he's trash. He's trash. They're just going off of that. No, he wasn't the big glamorous what he was supposed to be at the number 2 pick, but he's not trash. Like you gotta go back.
He was a serviceable starter.
Yes, absolutely.
When he was healthy.
Yeah, so that's one thing. I'm trying to get all the fans, me and Jack trying to get all the fans here.
Uplifting the hell out this fan base, but you still have some people that just don't believe in the team. It's like it's call it a wash, and we'll get ready for next season. That's a long wait right now to get ready for next season. We haven't even hit week 1 yet.
We all want Super Bowls. We need that support, like you said, like Terry said, we need that support in there because everybody wasn't buying Braves hats until they started whooping up folks in the playoffs. Like I don't like that in particular. I think we need to be behind our teams a little more, but I can't tell people how to fan.
I mean, you remember a couple years ago when we went to the Super Bowl, you couldn't even find a Falcons sock at Ross. Anywhere you go, it was just on the corners of every gas station. Somebody has a setup. They're selling merch. So the team gets hot. Everybody's going to jump on board, which is why you start out 1-0. You already going against what everybody predicted.
Against the Saints, nonetheless.
Against the team you have to be. It's a must-win game week 1. You don't hear that too much in the NFL where it's like week 1 is a must-win game for this team. Yeah, it is. Like straight off the bat. Me, Bodie, I like traveling to the away games too. So last season, I was all for going to an away game. Well, we're going to win this one. So we might lose at home, but we're going to beat the crap out of these Dolphins.
That's the thing. We did win more on the road.
And I think this season's going to be a little bit different. I think, and it gets that environment that you want for week 1. You beat the Saints 1-0. I know it's a tough game against the Rams. We're not even going to get into the schedule because that's going to be too long. But, let's just say you lose that game. You go to Seattle, you win that game. You come home against the Browns 2-1. So you have fans literally online, Ticketmaster, like, they might believe in this team.
Watson-less Browns.
Yeah.
That's another big thing to think about.
Jacoby
Brissett, I don't think scares too many people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not at all. No.
Miles, I got some people sending questions. You got a second?
Absolutely.
Oh man, we're talking Falcons football. Well, look at that.
Let's do it.
Sade, who's a big Falcons fan, she wants to know who do you think will be the MVP of the defense and the offense this season?
It's a good question.
It's
Sade
really
got
some real good questions. She comes with the facts.
it's really hard not to say the obvious ones. I mean,
Yeah.
AJ Terrell is the one that immediately comes to mind, especially when you have a guy like Casey Hayward here to take some pressure off of his side of the field. So, maybe now you see more interception chances for AJ.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, AJ is probably my pick. It gets pretty hard to pick otherwise. I mean, it'd be either him or Grady.
Mm-hmm.
But on offense, I'm going to go with Kyle Pitts. I mean, again, I know it's an easy answer, but based on what I've seen in practice and what I've seen in, the very little action we've seen of him in the preseason, he's taken a bigger step this year. He's not just, learning the playbook and running the routes. Like he was a little stiff in the preseason last year, like where he's kind of learning the offense and whatnot. Yeah. Now he's just going.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to see because you go out there and you see him, you're like, this isn't a tight end. This is Calvin Johnson. I mean, this is a 6'5" unicorn. I mean, a guy, just a person that big should not be able to run that fast. Yeah. And that's what he is. So, I'm going to go Kyle Pitts.
And I agree with you on the Kyle Pitts one because even looking at like Zacchaeus, who's been here for a while, you got a guy like Kyle Pitts. You got Drake London, the young receiver, Brian Edwards coming over his deal. But you got a guy like Pitts who's probably the leader in that locker room already in his second year.
Crazy. In year 2, he's already probably one of the leaders in that locker room.
I totally agree with that. Shadi also wants to know what's going to be the difference maker on offense and defense this season.
Difference maker on offense is pretty much like as I was saying earlier, going back to how they win week 1. It's just getting a run game finally. It's been years since they've had Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman was the last semblance of a running game this team had. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people realize how much that opens up your entire offense once you're able to finally run the ball. Mm-hmm. And again, that might take a little bit more time given the offensive line situation, but you'll see a lot more play action opportunities now. So I think play action is going to be a big difference maker for this offense, just with the extension of plays and some of these rollout type, plays that we'll see from Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder, whoever it might be. On defense, it's just the fact that they're opening up the playbook. I don't know if you guys saw Dean Pease's comment.
60% last season, and now he's going to be running.
Now we're 100%.
We talked to him at OTAs too. He had a great conversation with Dean Pease. Yeah,
fantastic. I mean, Dean Pease, if anyone's familiar with him, he's won at every single location he's ever been to. So his pedigree it speaks for itself. So, does he have the talent right now that he's had at all those other stops? No, but he does have returning talent from last year and guys who now know the playbook and now are completely opened up to whatever Dean Pease's full scheme truly is. So I think that's going to be a huge difference maker, for what we're going to see on this defense. Again, they do need a little bit more talent for it to probably get to where Dean Pease envisions it to be.
That's true.
But it's an open playbook now.
Fun fact about Dean Pease, Bodie, don't call him Russell.
Don't call him Russell. Don't call him Russell. That's his first name.
Is it really? Wow, I didn't know that.
we did a Bodie's breakdown. Bodie, the professor don't play now. When he gets in depth with some stuff, he's finna go find out. Bodie's the guy you might want to, hey, Fox 5 looking for another. The professor,
This just in.
Yeah.
I see some people in the chat here got a question. I know Dave's gonna always bring some questions here, but I'm not gonna entertain trade talks with this one. So I don't think Terry money situation. Would it be a good idea to trade for Kareem Hunt, Miles?
I mean, ideally, probably just because of what his skill set brings to the table, but I don't think so. Just because of, especially with what we saw at the preseason and the guys they let go in Quadri Allison and Caleb Huntley, who honestly had some pretty good moments in the preseason. I think they're pretty comfortable with their running back room right now with Damian Williams, especially because we didn't see a whole lot of him in the preseason. And that tells you a lot about what they think of him and that they didn't need to see a lot of him. They already know what he brings to the table. So you have Cordell Patterson, who's going to be good for you. You have Damian Williams, who they seem to believe in a lot, and Tyler Algier, the rookie, who I imagine will be running back 1 for quite a bit this season, just because of his physicality and how he fits the Arthur Smith offense. So that's 3 right off the bat. Then you got Avery Williams, who's kind of like a scat back, kind of doing everything right now as far as kick returning and playing cornerback before. I just don't see it this year, especially with, as you were saying, the money situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack, what did I say last week? I said that I think Algiers going to lead this team in rushing touchdowns.
Wouldn't surprise me at all.
He's a touchdown machine. You look at his tape at BYU. Look when the Falcons. Now you know why the Falcons went to go draft him.
He's a bowling ball.
Kid. He is a bowling ball. Yeah, he definitely is. Thomas Scott, one of the leaders of the Rise Up Tour, who puts on these amazing events when you go out of town for these away games. He goes everywhere. We have the meet and greet in LA. We have a meet and greet in Seattle. We have a party in Cincinnati. Tampa, we have a party. So Thomas Scott is the one who's putting on these events here. Big time Atlanta Falcons fan. He just wants to know, Miles, what about Debo? And I'm a Debo guy. Jersey's right here. That's my guy. But keep it real with me, Miles. Are they going to get rid of Debo, man? I mean, I don't want to put you in a position where if you don't want to answer it, it's cool.
No.
Where you're at.
It's been a pressing question. I mean, it's been a big storyline of this offseason for the Atlanta Falcons. It says a lot about it. It's kind of crazy to see what he was and to see what he's now, is for this Falcons team. I mean, he's playing special teams now. He was playing in the third quarter of a preseason game.
Is he moved over to weak side linebacker?
I'm not quite sure. I'd have to check the depth chart again. But the big thing with Deion Jones, I believe a huge part of it is his attitude when it comes to this Falcons team. They respect him so much and how he comes to work every day, in that they want to do right by Deion Jones. So I think they're waiting for the right opportunity to potentially cut bait or trade with him. I think they might be trying to find a good trade partner for him. And I think the way Deion has handled it is a big part of it, why he's continuing to show up at practice and continuing to be Deion Jones, to be a positive voice in the locker room, that kind of thing. I don't believe that he will be playing for the Falcons. I think that they're basically just trying to find a good partner for him at this point.
Yeah. It's just good to know. I mean, even with the locker room situation with some of these guys, their personalities are just so calm and so chill. Like when you go in there and you speak to these guys from an Arthur Blank situation or Terry Fontenot, you want to make sure you bring the right player into your facility.
Absolutely.
You're not hearing Debo, chatter on Twitter, or you didn't hear Calvin chatter about it. Even with the Julio situation, I mean, it was trying to be kept under wraps as best as possible until Julio was walking around the mall down there in Dallas. Like, what you doing, man?
I'm out of here.
What you doing, man?
That was the thing. That could have been handled so well. I would have had so much respect for Julio Jones if it was like Julio Jones has been traded, but national television saying I'm out of there. Come on. The Falcons were trying to trade it, and it was going to be fine. No hard feelings, but you got to, So I'll get off that soapbox because I won't stop talking about it.
But my thing with the Debo, I wanted to say one more thing about the Debo thing. That's a testament to the GM and the coach. And
absolutely.
The owner. Like, he respects them. He's still coming in, like you said. He's playing the third quarter preseason game, special team.
He didn't have to do that if he didn't want to.
At all. He could have not did it. So I mean, that's something to look for in the future. So
100%.
I'm just saying it's a testament to the team.
Miles, I tell you, we had a lot of special guests on this show, man. But I'll tell you, man, you got me ready for Sunday. I'm ready to go put the pads on and get out there and go help these Falcons.
Yeah.
If they got one more roster spot, I'll take it. Harold Poole, he's not a big Matt Ryan guy, but he believes in this team. He's always in the chat dropping F-bombs every time we mention Matt Ryan. So Harold says 10-7 record. And I'm one of the ones
optimistic.
So Miles, I'm one of the ones that believe that at least we can get a wild card spot. At least. I know. Trust me, I'm in those chats. I'm fighting over here. It's like the
hearing
it. You ever seen the Jon Snow gift from Game of Thrones when he pulls the sword out and everybody's rushing toward him? Yeah. That's me. That's me when I was going with Matt Ryan for a lot of years, and that's me with some of my fans and some of my friends here. The Falcons have an opportunity. I don't think the NFC. You were one game away from the playoffs last year, winning on the road. Matt Ryan, Pitts, and Patterson putting the team on their back sometimes in some games, but coaching kept you. That Buffalo Bills game, I think if you was playing in Atlanta, coming out of that half in a dome setting versus being over there in Buffalo. My friends went to the game. They left at halftime.
Well, I was there.
The weather got you. Was there, Miles?
I was on the sideline for that game.
Gosh,
oh, man.
good
That
to
was
speak
cold.
to you, man. You
God
made
bless
it
you,
back
sir.
from Buffalo in the middle
man.
of January. Jesus.
I wore 2 gloves and 3 pairs of socks. It was cold.
A friend of mine
Wow.
took a picture, no shirt, sitting there with the overalls. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
It's
What are
hypothermia.
you doing?
Hypothermia.
Oh my goodness.
Sade's in here. Fans need to stop listening to outside noise. I think, Miles, you'll agree. Every fan base has that 50-50 fans.
Sure.
The ones that like the quarterback, the ones that don't like the quarterback, the ones that like the coach, the ones that don't like the coach. But Falcons, ever since that situation down in Houston, that shit has just been like, you want content, Miles? Go get a backup account and go jump into one of these Falcon groups on game day and just listen to how some of these fans talk. You're gonna say, damn, where's our diehards at? Where they
Trust
at?
me, it's my job to monitor Falcons Twitter for our Chatty Bird segment on Sunday. So I see it. Trust me.
Wow.
You're gonna see this guy a lot. You probably already seen him. The Rise.
I have seen Joseph at games before.
He's also he went big for the Hawks Bucks last year too. He went to Milwaukee and pissed off some fans out there. Anywhere Joseph goes, security's gonna be around. They know this guy now. He's starting to make his name around.
He makes his presence felt.
He is. He's a big time Falcons fan. He also travels with us too with the Rise Up tour too as well.
Oh, nice.
But so many people in the chat here. Everybody's chatting it up. Everybody's talking it up. Miles, what do you have coming up? I mean, I know you have a lot of things that you got with the Falcons, and you're doing high school football too as well. But just for you, I mean, your plate is full, but just give us a little insight of what you got going on coming up this week or even next week.
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, tomorrow's the big day, so we get everything ready for the 2 shows, filming all that. Thursday is the day we actually film the shows. They'll air on Friday and Saturday, but we film it on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as I said, Friday high school football. We have the best high school football show in the state.
We do.
High Five Sports. We get the most coverage of anybody, so we go all in.
That's how you do it, right?
Represent.
We all in it. Let's go.
Love it.
Let's go.
But and then Saturday's the big college football day. We'll have people at UGA. I'll be at Georgia Tech. We'll have people at Georgia. Or I'm not sure who Georgia State's playing this week, but we usually cover Georgia State as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have that going. Sundays, of course, it's balls to the wall. We're all there. I'm monitoring plays, making sure what's going on. We've got a whole crew at the stadium, so it's crazy. But that's basically how it goes. And when the Braves make the playoffs, that'll be another thing. So it'll be going pretty quick.
Dave, big time.
Oh, absolutely.
You happy with your gig there, Dave? Miles, you happy
Love
with
it.
what you got going on?
Love it. Yeah,
that's more than a gig. That's a career. That's a great career.
Absolutely, it is. Yeah, I'm blessed. As I was saying, I'm lucky to do what I do.
Chat's going crazy. We're gonna get to one more here, and then we'll get you up out of here, Miles. Miles, how do you feel about the national media towards the Falcons as opposed to the local media?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of the storyline for a lot of things with the national media is that they don't really see what we see. They're not always there at these practices. They don't see the progression of these players. They weren't there last year. That they see how they've gotten better this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big part of it. The national media that's predicting them to win like 2 games. I don't see that at all.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, I really will be baffled if they win just 2 games this year, just on the sheer coaching ability of Arthur Smith alone. I think Arthur Smith's a very good coach. So I think just, even if we saw us last year, they were winning games they shouldn't have won, just because of what he was doing. You mentioned it earlier. So yeah, I would say that's the biggest thing. It's just unawareness because they're not there. Like we're at practices every single day. We're at games every single day. We're at OTAs. We're at all of these. The national people aren't there at all. I mean, they'll come to a couple practices.
We're at public signing events too when they're signing in the middle of public somewhere to give away turkeys or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as they were today. So yeah, it's you just don't get that attention as much.
Do you think it has something to do with Matt Ryan leaving? I think it's I mean,
as far as
just how to give us the 2-15 projection and how to get like
I think
4 games.
I do think that because again, from a national perspective, I think they see franchise quarterback of 14 years gone up. They must be going straight down the tube now. That's the last semblance from when they were good again. It's their former MVP gone, Julio Jones gone. All those guys from the last time the Falcons were good aren't there anymore. So
Mm-hmm.
who do they see now? They see Marcus Mariota, career backup as the starting quarterback. They see Desmond Ridder, third round quarterback. Doesn't really get you too excited. Not really a top 5 pick. Drake London, yeah, I guess he'll be good. But outside of that, they don't really see too much. And especially when you look at AJ Terrell, the recognition that he's been getting, it's nothing.
Oh,
I
nothing.
mean,
so
you rank Trayvon Diggs ahead of AJ Terrell. That just tells you all you need to know.
Stop it.
So here's just a quick question. So AJ Terrell, agree or disagree, he's top 10 corner in the league.
I'd say top 3.
Top 3.
Thank you.
Right. So I tried to go top 10 just to, keep it a little bit in the bracket there.
Top
but
10 easily. Yeah.
I had him at top 5. So yes, top 3 I agree. Grady Jarrett still top 10 defensive tackle in the league.
Yes.
Kyle Pitts is top 5 tight end in the league.
I would say so.
If you're building around that, why can't we be great? You got 3 players who's top 10 at their position playing.
I think, my biggest thing, I had this same discussion with people when the Falcons were good. When they had Julio Jones and they had, when Julio Jones was the best receiver in the league, when Matt Ryan was an MVP, when Devontae Freeman was a top 5 running back in this league. I said it all starts in the trenches. You don't have a team. You don't have an offense if your quarterback's getting sacked every play or if the running game can't get set up. Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Julio Jones can be as open as you want down the field. If you're only getting 2 seconds to throw it, they're not going to get the ball. And then you have the defense. This has been the storyline for 20 years for this team. They've never been able to get to the quarterback. They've never been able to sack the cornerback since the days of John Abraham. So it's if you can't win the game in the trenches, you're not going to win a lot. And I think that's going to change relatively soon, especially when the money comes off the books and they'll be able to invest in those places a little bit more with the offensive line and defensive line. But I think that's the biggest thing is just winning in the trenches.
You're right about that, man. Bodie, we want to get Miles up out of here. I know Miles getting ready to probably get on a plane and fly to Switzerland and go do a report over there. Who knows what's going on with Miles right now? Are you allowed to give a record prediction? I know you got to.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you want to. You can do that because I don't know. I don't know. This is my first time actually speaking to somebody from Fox 5. It's like, hey, man, I don't want to ask you a question. I ain't supposed to get the answer. But what's the score on Sunday? I said 28-20. Other people, somebody said 34-10 the other day. Falcons will win. But if the run game does get going and the defense does look as sharp as we want it to be, especially with that secondary, Falcons can win Sunday. What's the score for you, Miles? Do you think? You there, Miles?
Did we lose him?
Did we lose him?
I think we did.
Did we lose him? Miles?
Yeah, there's some technical difficulties. We'll be right back.
Fox 5?
Oh, man. Let's see if we can get him back.
Can we get him back?
You guys got me?
There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
We had 2 of you.
Computer I was on just died, so I'm on my phone.
Okay.
Shout out to Miles for coming back to the stream, man. Miles, I thought Miles was gonna be like, man, I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here, man.
No, I couldn't.
Score prediction for Sunday. If the run game gets going, the people saying that defense is gonna, feed off that secondary with Richie Grant and Casey Hayward and AJ Terrell. I said 28-10. Bodie, you said you kept them below 20. You said
I said 28-14, I think.
28-14. I think Chase had said it was 29-19 or something like that. Everybody said below 20 except for me, and I went to go change my answer. Miles, give me a score for Sunday, man. Falcons win.
I'm gonna say it'll be a close one. I'll say 28-21.
Okay.
Falcons win.
28-21 is good.
I like it.
Actually,
you was asking them about
I take that back because I think they'll definitely get a field goal in there. The Falcons are big with young Waku. So I'll say 30-21.
Okay. That's good. Home game, new offense.
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota and Drake London, Brian Edwards. You putting up 30 in the bins? I'll take it.
Yeah. New era, man. Here we go.
Yeah.
Harold Poole, you gave him 17-26, Harold. Okay, Dave, I'll give you one more. Because Dave has been with us since day one. We did a draft show, Miles, when we first started. 3 hours for day 1, 3.5 hours for day 2, and then we did 5 hours for day 3. right here on the podcast, and it was a long day.
And
covering the Falcons.
those are our first shows. Like those, me and him together, those were where we got our chemistry through those 3 days. And I was in here like this. It was round 6. It was like, has the Falcons picked yet?
Play the spaghetti got cold real fast. Sitting there watching the draft, talking to the fans on the podcast. But Miles, Dave wants to know, what is the worst case scenario if they lose to the Saints?
I don't think there really is. I think it depends on how bad the loss is. I think if you lose to the Saints, it's week 1 of the NFL. I mean, it's not going to impact anything. I mean, the only thing it might impact is just how fans and how people view the team. It's not going to matter. But I'd say worst case scenario for this team would be a goose egg. They don't score a point and they lose by 2 or 3 touchdowns, that type of thing. I think that would be worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to score.
You definitely have to score, especially at home. Week 1 in the Benz. Terry talked about creating that hostile environment. The fans got to bring it on Sunday. The team has to bring it on Sunday. And you come away with a win. Get on that plane, going to LA feeling good, but you know what's going to happen in LA. It's a tough-ass game. You can't be sleeping on that game in LA. And every game is a must-win for the Falcons this season. I'm looking at the schedule and I'm thinking, man, even that Pittsburgh game with their team that's rebuilding is a must-win game. Yeah. You know, so it's like, but Falcons can't let up here. You have to, even to get to the wild card, you have to win some pretty tough-ass games. Miles, I thank you, man. I really do thank you for this, brother.
Guys, I really appreciate it.
Man,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. We always talking Falcons football every Wednesday and Sunday. We're going to go back to our regular podcast on Sunday. But we're doing these pop-up shows just to bring some more light to the Falcons fans, uplift the fan base, because a lot of these fans here are going to be at the game on Sunday. They do travel with the team too as well. So if you're ever looking for some Falcon fans to interview for you, a segment or something, we can.
I will say,
talk about it.
Are you guys? Or do you know of any Falcons fans who might be available in the morning, or do you know where some Falcons fans like to hang out early on a Wednesday morning?
Man, if we had something like the Battery, that would have been perfect.
Interesting.
Falcon fans, man, that's
tough.
That is tough, man. I'll tell you right now. And I saw the question you put on Twitter, and I'm like, damn, if we just had that, because I went to. And I don't want to speak about other fan bases like that, but I went to the Cowboys game last year. Mm-hmm. And the way Jerry has it set up as Jerry World, that was my first time in Dallas. But seeing how people kept saying Jerry World, now I've seen it for the first time. He has the Star. I know you've seen the Star probably in Arlington. Then he has the stadium where just he puts, as soon as you land, he lets you know it's Cowboys Nation.
Yeah.
From the moment at the airport to the team stores to getting in the Ubers, everybody got their Cowboy stars. I want that for Atlanta. I want that back. How we don't have to go to the Super Bowl to have that back. Atlanta is a city where people should just feed off of it in general. Man, we're creating a lot out here in Atlanta. So I want everybody to really start putting their car flags back up, their Falcon flags. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know you're riding with the Braves because the Braves won, but still, we got a football team too. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And soccer, I mean, we're big United fans, and you see the Georgia thing behind Bodie. We're big dog guys. But I do want fans to start bringing that swag back to the Falcons here in the city, so when other teams land, they know that this is Falcon country.
For sure.
But if I find something for you, Miles, and I find some fans, I'll send it over to you, man. I'll try to do the best I can, but it's gonna be tough trying to find a bunch of fans on Wednesday, man. They at work. They ready. They ready on Sunday.
I know. A little iffy, but I'm trying to do a fun segment with some Falcons fans tomorrow morning. So if you can find someone, send my way.
Okay. This guy right here will probably be there. I ain't gonna lie. This guy, my friend Jeff Wolf, right?
Ugh.
So he's the one. He showed up to training camp the other day at 1 a.m. When training camp opened that was the first day when it opened at 9. He was there at 1. Sent me a video at 2 a.m. outside of the gates. I was sleeping, getting ready to get some good rest before I can get up there. I woke up around 5:30. I looked at the video. I said, "Does Falcon security know he's outside the gates right now?" Like, Jeff Wolf will probably be there. He'll be at the Benz if you need him there. He's a diehard fan. But Jeff, if you can bring about 30 other Falcon fans, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll probably be in around Piedmont Park area tomorrow morning. So if that's the spot, if any Falcons fans who are listening, feel free to come out there.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Thomas Scott said the Rise Up Tour is always available. Yeah, if you're ever going to an away game, of course you're going to be on the road this year. But if you want to see the Falcons fans at away games, we can bring you out to a Rise Up Tour event, man. You want? Oh yeah, man. You're gonna love this.
Let's do it.
You're gonna love this. Now we party now. We got the DJ set up, we got the food, however we're gonna do it. Different cities is different things that we do. Miami, we had the yacht party. Dallas, we had the party with the Falcons Cowboys. Cleveland a couple years ago, we had the party at Jack's Casino. So we find something to do for Falcons fans on that meet and greet. But
for sure.
Miles, I appreciate it. Bo, do you got anything else for Miles, man? Because we're gonna get him back on later on this season. We talking Falcons football like this. We got to get him back on.
I just want to say thank you, man. Just thank you for blessing us with your presence, and just glad to have you here, man. I learned a lot today, so just thank you so much
having me on. It really was a pleasure.
What time you gonna be at Piedmont? I guess I don't know. There's some Falcon
we got
fans
them popping in the chat. They're popping up in the chat.
Harold Poole, what's up?
And here we go. I'm getting
some.
Yeah, we're probably gonna be there right around I imagined around the 10 to 11 range.
And even if you guys don't have the Falcon fans, you guys will still be out there doing whatever you have to do, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I might Falcon pop up in my work uniform. I might just
like Falcons on you, just as long as you are a Falcons fan.
I have my little baby chain with me.
There we go.
Before you pop up there, Bodie, just make sure you leave the couch in the truck. You don't want to bring the couch to Piedmont Park.
Oh man. Yeah, I can't.
We can be joking out here, Miles. I'm sorry. But Falcons fans, he should be there between 10 and 11. So if you guys want to head down there to Piedmont Park, reach out to Miles on Twitter. It's at Miles Garrett TV, correct?
At Miles Garrett TV, that's right.
And then tell your information. Tell your other Falcon friends. Like everyone in here, just tell your other Falcon friends. Yeah.
I know it's short notice, Falcon fans, but if you have the availability, I know you got the gear. So come on out and, help out Miles. Whatever fan can show up, please. We're trying to bring that swag back to the city. But Miles, we're going to get you on later on this year. And definitely you come out to any one of these away games. We're going to hang out, have a good time, man, so that way you can see the Falcons fans on the road. But I really appreciate this, Miles, for everything tonight. And this is big for us. This is what we wanted. We wanted to get somebody here who knows Falcons football, just like us too as well, man. Especially the way you do it, brother. So nobody can do it better than you right now, man. We really appreciate it, Miles. Thank you, man.
I really appreciate it, fellas. Thank you for the kind words. Looking forward to seeing you guys at the games.
Yes, sir. I'll be chatting up with you, Miles. Holla at you, man.
See you, fellas. Have a good night.
Take care.
Falcon fans.
That was great.
One time for the fan. Every Wednesday, every Sunday, 8 p.m. We got a pop-up show tonight here. This Tuesday night. We want to bring as much positivity and energy to this fan base to let y'all know that we represent the Atlanta Falcons. And from the rookie reports to Bodie's breakdown to these Falcon fan talks, we had big low country sports on Sunday with us.
Yeah, man.
The post-game reports we've done after the Lions game and the Jets game, and so much content we have going on, man. I just told y'all my bags is packed for LA. I'm ready to bring some content to y'all from LA.
Yeah.
Next week, Wednesday, I'm in Cali with this. You feel what I'm saying? The week after that, I'm in Seattle with this. You feel what I'm saying? So it's diehard fan shit right here. From Bodie, from us, from Chase. It was good to know that all of us are going to be in New Orleans, man. All of us. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, we love these Atlanta Falcons. And I'm glad y'all in the chat and y'all love them too. But hearing Miles Garrett tonight. Bodie, what'd I say? I'll call coach in the morning and say, look, man, I ain't played free safety in like 20 years, bro. But if you need an extra body out there to beat them damn Saints,
we'll do what we can.
I play special teams. I'll rock the shit out of somebody on special teams.
Hey man, I'll wipe the sweat beads off the forehead if as long as it helps us win on Sunday.
Come here, 32. Come here.
I'll squirt Gatorade in your mouth. Come here.
No mouthpiece. Come here, 32. Big blood. Number 56 has been ejected for targeting.
Like, get this man.
Went through the helmet like Diggs in the damn Minnesota Miracle. Would have been stone cold fingers walking out of the damn gate one. Like, yeah. They kicked me out.
Somebody
podcast on the beach, Dre says.
Oh, snap.
Got to call Verizon, see how that signal work. Don't let them commercials fool you. I got some interesting shit for Verizon as yelling. So I'm out here by the pier in Seattle. I'm not getting no connection. You guys said the service works everywhere, right?
I ain't gonna lie. Verizon they've been poo-pooing on my head lately too. I want to switch, but who do I switch to? T-Mobile?
I'm thinking about getting ready to switch. Man, if I get into this down
AT&T, hell no.
If I get into this, I'm gonna start getting more mad at my service provider, man. Every time I think about that, I think about that bill.
Gonna end up going to Xfinity Mobile. Anybody here got Xfinity? Anybody here got Xfinity Mobile?
When I called you earlier, what'd you say? I had Alltel.
I said yeah, Alltel. Like you put that Alltel phone up. Oh shit. A cellular one.
Shout out all my Boost Mobile users in the chat.
Sheesh, Boost Mobile.
The boy Dre said 5G is a scam. Scammerific.
Yeah, all of it is a scam. I believe it. I ain't seen no difference from 3G to 5G, honestly. It's all
Thomas Scott, Thea, so many people in the chat tonight. A lot of stuff was going on here with the chat. There's some other podcasts. Country's on a podcast right now.
I'm about to go check out Country.
He's dissing Ain't fans. I don't know. I hope it's on his channel so I can go look, but I'm gonna get the link. But tonight, Bodie, I mean, just real quick, just to go over Miles Garrett, man, because that was truly a blessing what he did to come in here and let Falcon fans know from his level of where he's at covering the Falcons of what he believes. Even when I said that we can make the wild card, Miles is like, he get a look like,
I mean,
I understand. We wasn't going to go back and forth with this, and I'm gonna pull out the clipboard and we're gonna. No.
Well,
I agree with what Miles is saying. Miles is the fan, just like I'm a fan, but then Miles is doing his job too as well. So he's keeping it He's keeping it real.
Keeping it real. And one thing about Miles, big shout out to Miles. I know we ain't doing
big shout out to Miles, man. I'm
big
about to
shout out
to Miles, man, because y'all need to get down there tomorrow now.
Yeah. I hit that Piedmont up, like big shout out to Miles. We're an up and coming podcast. We're trying to inform the fans. We're trying to uplift the fan base or whatnot. And Miles didn't have to do it. Miles didn't have to come here, but that just shows how much of a stand-up guy he is. So man, big shout out to Miles. Like honestly, big deal.
We're gonna get Miles Garrett later on in the season back on the show. And we got some more special guests coming up for y'all too. These Falcon fan talks will never stop. And the cool thing about Miles, like, some folks, they work in that media and they're like, nah, I can't do it. Nah.
Exactly.
Check your followers. Nah.
Nope. Don't see. Nope. You don't have 1,000 followers.
Send check here.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm not going to say the person's name, but the person I had back long ago.
Yo.
I ain't going to say the person.
Asking for money.
And
please, we don't want your fake takes. I'm sorry. No.
Romero, you trying to get on the show? We do it. Romero comes in here and drops trash emojis on all the players who doesn't fit where Romero's needs are.
Shit.
You got pass deflection. What do you mean pass deflection? You could have called an interception. You trash.
Hey, we put him on the show on Sunday. He'd be like, oh, here's the bum of the week.
Oh, Romero. If you want to go around the NFL and be a new segment on our show called Bum of the Week, we'll bring you on. You can talk about other players in the NFL. Who's the bum of the week?
The bum of the week.
The donkey of the day. Kendrick Cox would be a great fan to talk to. He loves the Falcons. Well, Miss Roslyn, We can get Kendrick Cox on the show. We can get Ramel on the show. We can get Rosalind on the show. I'm trying to get Sade LC on the show. I'm about to pay Sade in a minute. Like, look, what's your damn Cash App? What's your Zelle? Eric Parker, we're supposed to have on the show on Friday. I apologize, Eric. I already let him know. I got Kevin Hart. I forgot totally about it. I was going to do the podcast from the Kevin Hart tour. Like, yeah, we got a special guest tonight.
No, you wasn't ready.
One time for the fan. You already know we're talking Falcons football every Wednesday, every Sunday at 8 p.m. Tonight, Tuesday, the pop-up show, because we have Miles Garrett, Fox5Atlanta, Falcons producer, and just hearing what he has to do between now and Sunday has me feeling much better about this podcast just being 2 days a week coming up next week, because boy, Miles is working.
He's working. And he works all sports.
Miles is working.
Specifically Falcons. He specializes in Falcons, but he works all Atlanta sports. Shout out to Miles. And he loves it. He's doing it. He's doing it up.
So I see y'all liking that Bum of the Week segment from Ramel.
Bum of the Week. Bum of the Week.
I got something even better for y'all. I'll drop the news. So, been working with some folks. Been talking to some people. One thing you don't see on podcasts, right? One thing you don't see, especially when we're going like how we are fans of Falcons football. And yeah, I agree with you, Ernest. I wish I did have his job too. Hearing what he was saying and thinking how he's covering the Falcons, everything he was saying I'm listening to, and then he was like, what he does for the Falcons, and I'm like, oh, I can do that shit. You feel what I'm saying? But then he's going over everything else, and I'm like, I just want to cover the Falcons. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? But hearing what he does, man, that is a cool ass job, bro. You feel what I'm saying? And he talked about it with a smile. He talked about it like he enjoyed it. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. He wasn't one of those, oh, no, I think we just, nah, bro. He really loves that job. You know what I'm saying? And I shout out Miles for his hard work, his dedication to what he does. And that's why when I had the opportunity to see if I can get Miles on the show, I was like, oh, this would be pretty cool if we can get Miles on, you know? And when he agreed to it, I was like, you know, play the theme music. I couldn't believe when he agreed to it. I said, oh, for real? Okay.
Hold on. You should have sent a burner account.
What time? Because you know how busy they are and what they do with their jobs. They have a lot going on, a lot on the plate.
He's very busy. This week, he's busy.
Miles. Just imagine Kelly Price, what he was talking about with the Rise Up Tonight, and Tori McElhaney out. I'm sorry, Tori, if you're listening or you're watching. McElhaney.
I'm sure it's McElhaney.
They are some hard-working individuals in this field. And you see what we do for the podcast just to bring y'all, I guess, a couple shows every now and then.
Yeah, they get paid to do it. We do it for free. So we love it.
CBS, ESPN, holla at me. Holla at me.
Oh, man.
75,000 a show.
Thank you.
I'll just start off at 75,000. When we renew the contract, though, $1 million.
I'm talking Stephen A. money.
Sheesh.
I can be less obnoxious and more lovable.
Steve Harvey suits Monday through Sunday. And the barber travels with me too.
Where?
Barber travels with me too. One time for the fan. I'll drop some news real quick, man, before we get up out of here, man. You don't see a lot of podcasts doing what we about to do. I don't think I've seen one. And I shout y'all out, every single one of y'all. I want fans to feel that experience, the game day experience. Some fans, I don't know if y'all do like how I do sometimes. Before I made the decision to travel to all the away games going forward, anytime I couldn't go to an away game, I would, of course, know the team that we're playing against. And I would wake up and the food that I will prepare is going to be something related to the team that we're playing against. Such as Sunday for the Aints. A lot of people's going to be at the tailgates eating what? Seafood, crawfish, shrimp,
seafood
boil,
gumbo,
gone there, boat.
Gumbo.
Next week, Falcons play the Rams. Mex Tex is kind of big. You know, LA's, you know, has a culture of all different types of foods. Seattle, some people would say what? Fish? How they eat? No, whatever their signature dish is for their city.
Yeah.
I was thinking. Then I was drinking. Then I was thinking. I said, how can I put this segment together so Falcon fans would love this? And Dre, we're going to get to your comment in a second. I see what you said. Why don't I just bring on a chef? Right? And this chef will join the show, and he will let us know what signature dish or what dish is good to prepare for the team that we are playing against. Now, those of you know, let's just say we played, if some of you guys still not getting it yet, let's just say we played Philly this year. Everybody knows when you go to Philly, the food that they like to eat is what? Philly cheesesteaks. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm about to do the drum roll too. Philly cheesesteaks. So the chef would have came on the show and gave us a recipe, ingredients, something to get you ready for that game day morning experience by making the meal that is a signature dish of the team that we're playing against.
Yeah.
So we're going to call it its own dish. So we're going to call it Chef's Corner. Now, the chef that I've been speaking with, Dre, the chef that I've been speaking with is a good friend of mine. He's one of the executive chefs here in the city of Atlanta. He is a Falcons fan. He has cooked for some pretty big names here in the city and outside of the city. If we get him on the show Thursday, he's super busy. He's here in Atlanta. He's working. He has a big event on Thursday where he said he's going to try to do his best. He has to step away for 10 minutes and just talk to us about what's going on. I talked to him the other day. I seen him, what's today? Tuesday? I seen him yesterday. It's the drink. I had to go back and remember the day. I thought it was like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I see him now. Nah, man, less than 24 hours ago.
Sheesh.
But he was all for it. When I told him about it, he was like, yeah, sure. Maybe I can go ahead and grab the stuff and we can do the cooking. And I'm like, well, I ain't get that far yet. I was just hoping you can just join the show and we do the segment. But he was like, well, maybe what we can do is, you know, I already have it prepared, or I don't even want to give the details because if he joins the show and once y'all find out who he is, you're gonna say, holy shit, Jack. How did you do this? And he gonna explain it to y'all on Thursday. I told him maybe 5 to 15 minutes is all I need. He's a podcaster too as well. So, and his podcasting has to do with, you know, a lot of things that he deals with, but a lot of stuff has to do with him being a chef, an executive chef. I don't want to give the name of where he is the executive chef, but he'll come on the show and he'll explain who he is, what he does, why he does it, how long he's been doing it, and how you heard that? Who, what, where, I got you. How you guys can wake up on Sunday if you live in Cali, if you live in Texas, and you can't make it to the game, maybe I want to prepare a dish, signature dish, to the team that you're playing against. Some people do. I used to do that. The Jets, we played the Jets on preseason. Boy, I told you, I went to New York Pizza in Gwinnett. It's like 30 minutes from my house. Yeah. I went to New York Pizza in Gwinnett to go get New York style pizza because we played the Jets. I didn't want no Domino's, man. Nah. I called Johnny himself. And the guy answered the phone, yo, hey, what's going on? It's Johnny. Hey, what's up? Can I get 2 pizzas? Yeah. What's going on? Hey, Falcons and the Jets. Yeah. Go Jets. Picked up the pizza. Pizza was damn delicious.
Yeah, man. It's good, man.
People in Detroit eat the Coney Island dogs. They love that. I don't eat the glizzy. So I made the sausage, the brats, and I did it Coney Island style with the onions and the pickles and the cedars. I did everything. I just used the brats. But I didn't go to Detroit, so I just wanted to feel that vibe of how, Detroit eats that. All right, bet I'm finna make that. Some people like that. So we're going to have a chef join the show, and he's going to be joining the show every week, depending on his schedule every week. And I just said, bro, you need 5 minutes of your time, Mike G. He was like, I'll do the best I can, but I believe I can give you 5 to 10 minutes every week. Because he's a busy person, man. Even when he gets off of what he does, he has to go prepare for the next day. He's the executive chef. Been doing this since he was 14. One time for the fan, man. We got a lot to go over. We got a lot going on.
Big
Low Country Sports was on Sunday. After Big Low Country Sports, we had Hilltopper Red for the D'Angelo Malone Rookie Report, which we were surprised. I was surprised. When Hilltopper jumped in, I said, Hilltopper Red, ready to talk some football. And as soon as he started talking about Western Kentucky football, I was sitting here like, boy, I'm glad we drafted D'Angelo Malone. Hilltopper Red gave us some facts on Sunday. As a fan, as a season ticket holder who travels to the games, and he's a podcaster too, he's as diehard as we are for the Falcons as he is for the Western Kentucky football. And most y'all don't pay attention to Western Kentucky football. Now, I ain't saying it to diss y'all, but a lot of people didn't pay attention to the Western Kentucky football. I didn't.
I didn't either.
That team sitting behind Bodie, that's who I paid attention to. Them dogs.
Oh.
But we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna work on that Tyler Algier Rookie Report. We're gonna work on the last 2 Rookie Reports, which is Justin Shaffer and John Fitzpatrick, which is gonna be kind of funny because it didn't pan out to be what we thought it was gonna be.
But they're around. They're around,
but the Rookie Report's not gonna be the same if you're looking at a guy that's practice squad and the guy who's didn't even get a chance to play much in the preseason. So we know they're dogs, though. Go dogs.
They're Falcons, too. They are Falcons, so we got
one time for the fan. Dre, ESPN wouldn't call, man. Y'all too positive about the Falcons. Yeah, ESPN gonna be like, we need you to bash them, mother.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. When they win the game, man, that's what I want you to do, man. I want you to talk about what they did wrong, man. You understand, man?
That one throw Mariota did, you know what I'm saying? That one. Oh yeah.
We'll give you 7,000 up front.
Oh yeah, bring up that game in Houston too. Just you got to talk about it.
7,000? Is that all? Yeah, you can get some Tommy.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
I threw that Project Pat in there. Well, I listened to that Project Pat the other day.
Hey. All I'm saying is
Francis Bonanzas from Rinky Dink Records. I was wondering if I can have a word with y'all.
We go rumble in this.
That's how ESPN will come with us. Hey, how you doing? This is Tony Johnson from ESPN. I want to know if I can have a word with you guys.
About what?
I hope it ain't about a contract, mother. 7,000.
Boy.
But look, y'all.
All I say is I hope ESPN has they open up a podcast distribution, and then each team has a podcast. You never know. They might come. Call it. I'll answer.
Real talk. Falcons have that Ticketmaster Studios in Flowery Branch. They got a podcast studio in there. I would, and let me tell you something. Anybody from the Falcons organization watching, I'll bring this Yeti up there. You can disconnect the mic. I'll bring the Yeti. This is the goal. This right here is the piece. This right here is the key to the podcast. The Blue Yeti.
Let me stop.
Chase Cravey, man. He heading back up. Chase, back up to the top of the tower. You go.
Oh, man.
Good show, boys. Ready to be back with y'all tomorrow night. We got another show tomorrow night. Wednesday show. We ain't got no special guest, but
continue hate week.
We're gonna continue this hate week. Hearing what Miles said tonight Falcon fans should get you prepared. Thea, I see it, Thea. Good old crab legs. And we know who we playing against.
I know, right?
Hearing Jameis.
And we're going to get this W.
Gosh. Hearing Miles Garrett talk about the Falcons and how Falcons fans, do have something a little bit to believe in this season. Not saying a little bit like, okay, no. He said it in a way where I know how you feel, Falcons fans. There's a lot of new faces here, right? Yeah. You don't know you're looking at the names on paper and you're like, who's this guy? Who is this guy? How's he going to help the team? They're all going to help the team, right? It starts on Sunday.
Yeah.
You have to go and beat the Aints. I can't believe week 1, we're starting out saying it's a must-win game.
It is. It is. We got to win at home. I will be pissed if we don't.
The factors of looking at a must-win game, to start out 1-0, to have a, your home opener, division rival. The fans hate this team. You can do right, Falcons. You can do right, Falcons. You see what I mean? You can do right by me. You can do right, Falcons, by just winning the game. I don't care if it's 26-25, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm trying to hear that horn blow on Sunday. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown.
All night, or all day.
We have a couple of super players that will surprise everyone, I do believe.
Yes, we absolutely do. We absolutely do.
Welcome to the chat, Manuel.
And we can probably talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a lot to go over. Falcon fans, I thank y'all for tuning in. Miles Garrett, I'll post the information on One Time for the Fan, our Facebook page. Also, if you're following One Time for the Fan on Twitter, it's right here. So if you guys are on Twitter, you can follow right there at One Time for the Fan. Twitter cheated me. They said, nah. They said characters are too long. Got to use the number 4. Facebook, you know what it is. One Time for the Fan on Facebook. Tell your friends. Tell your auntie. Tell your neighbor. Tell your cousin. If your cousin got a dog and your dog knows how to turn on the TV, tell the dog too. Email onetime@forthefan.net. Paid for that.
Had to. I don't know where that shit is.
Budget went up.
Yeah.
And of course, if you're here on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. One Time for the Fan. We're talking Falcons football every Wednesday, every Sunday, 8 p.m. Tonight, Tuesday, pop-up episode went great. Miles Garrett TV did a great job. Miles Garrett, man, I tell you, Miles Garrett got me ready to put an application in for Fox 5 right now. I mean, matter of fact, Fox 5, y'all hiring?
Hey, man. Big deal.
Tomorrow night show, 8 p.m. Come on back. We're going to talk about the winners of the One Time for the Fan giveaway. I'll try to do it right here on the split screen where I can probably bring up the little wheel of fortune looking thing with the names on there. If not, I got my trusty iPhone. That's what iPhone's good for. And we'll put all the names there. I got all the names there as well. Now, remember, if you want to be a part of the One Time for the Fan giveaway, go ahead and hit it right here for y'all. Yeah, I can see. If you want to be a part of the One Time for the Fan giveaway, now is your last chance. Right here. Just go ahead and put it right there in the chat. Hashtag One Time for the Fan. I got a bunch of names already. I think I'm at 16 people. And I didn't put it on the Facebook page or the Twitter page, so people who didn't see the show is going to start jumping in and try to win some merch or some gear. I did it for the folks who wanted to be a part of it, who's watching the stream live. We got about 16, 17 people, I think. We're going to find out tomorrow who's going to win some Falcons merch. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I got a couple of small things for y'all. Don't forget, we also got the number 1 winner will win a jersey, and you'll also win 2 tickets to the Falcons versus Bears. The Bears, who I didn't even mention, we just signed a player who played for the Bears. I can't remember his name right now. I'm sorry. I apologize, young man, for not remembering your name, but I know you played for the Bears.
Yeah.
One time for the fan. Laura's in here. Shout out to Laura Luke, big time Atlanta Falcons fan. Travels with the team, home game. She's there. Saw her yesterday at Georgia Tech too as well. I think she has a family member who's a part of Georgia Tech football team. So shout out to Laura Luke. She had a lot of things going on for her. Big time Falcons fans. Ramel's up in here. Tonga is the guy. Thank you, Manuel. I appreciate it.
I knew somebody was gonna put it in there. Appreciate that.
Practice squad guy who is now gonna be another piece to the Falcons roster going forward. I mean,
he got potential. I mean, Hakeem Hicks himself said that the Bears shouldn't have released him. That's big.
That's same big. Hicks who we'll see this year in Tampa, him and Vita Vea.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
Abdullah Anderson is a player who Falcons wanted. He's out there on the 53 on Sunday. Matt Dickerson, who just got signed after the 53 was released, is playing Sunday. So Falcons are looking around. They're trying to find the best players available to get out there on that field to beat these Aints and to help this team go forward. So shout out to the Atlanta Falcons for doing what they do.
Yeah, the best players will be on the field. That's why Matt Dickerson is there. That's why Abdullah Anderson is back. You know, he was a later addition. So, yeah, big deal. Big deal.
Bodie, great job tonight, Bodie, once again. Bringing the positive content, the facts, the knowledge to the Falcons fans so that way they can be ready for Sunday and beyond. Cynthia's Offensive Rookie of the Year, Drake London. Watch the NFL Network right now. Somebody believes in us. Buddy, any shout outs you got, sir, before we go ahead and wrap it up? And don't forget, I got to, is it Madden time? Ain't no running now. 9:43.
I had to let you know.
I see the wall behind you. You're at the house.
Texted me. I said my wife's hitting me up. It's shout out to my wife right now. Yeah.
He needs to get whooping Madden too. If you're watching, he needs
probably
to get
a little later.
Madden too.
You have my people hit your people hit my people. We'll be in touch. Well, I mean, first off, shout out to Terrell.
Shout out to Terrell.
Yeah. Shout out to Miles Garrett. Once again. I mean, it was great to have him on the show. I mean, he, like I said, he didn't have to come on the show. He's great. He was here. He informed us, and it was just great to have him here with his knowledge of the Falcons, which he's very knowledgeable, and he loves his job, and he has a great job, and he does it well. So yeah, shout out to Miles. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the questions we got to ask Miles throughout the chat. I mean, shout out to the Falcons. That's why we're here. I say it every week. And shout out to the fans again. All the fans, the ones that are watching now, the ones that will be watching soon. So yeah.
Got a Mets fan tagging me talking about I can already hear Jack talking shit. Because Ramel just posted that the Mets are about to lose. They're getting smacked by the Pirates. 8-2 right now, which is opening the opportunity if the Braves win. We could go ahead and get that first place. And they're getting smacked 8-2 in the 8th inning right now. And Braves are just starting out against Oakland out there in Oakland. So shout out to everybody who updates us with all this information as we're doing our podcast on other Atlanta sports that we respect here. But Bodie, you were spot on about what you just said about Miles, his knowledge of the game. And like I said, Falcons fans, that's why we do these shows, man. That's why we have the podcast. We want to bring some people on here, some folks who represent, what you want from a Falcons fan base. I ain't gonna bring on nobody up here who's up here hating, you know what I'm saying, and just being rude and disrespectful. As you can see from the Ricky reports to the Falcon fan talks, we've done a great job of putting, fans on here so that we can talk about the Falcons. But we had a great time, man. And that's what we do here at One Time for the Fans. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Miles Garrett. Shout out to the Rise Up Tour. Shout out to Thea, Justin Newman, Manuel, Ramel, Jeff Wolf, Thea, Lisa, everybody who's DSGB Hall, Sade. If I miss your name, I'm sorry, Dre. It's too many people, man. It's too many people, man. Zantega, who watches the show right after. Dan Burst, who watches the show after. And all the other fans who watch it and give me, respect, love, and shout outs on social media.
Yeah, man. So we appreciate each and every one of y'all.
We really do. I talk to Bodie about it all the times. How can we do something for the fans? How can we do something? The giveaway is for the fans. You feel what I'm saying? Even the Chef's Corner thing, that's for the fans. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all gonna get y'all cook on in honor of the
Jack. Now you know that shit. You know that shit's for you. You know you want that dish too.
I mean,
Yeah.
When I bring him on the show, you're gonna say, "Good move, Jack. Good move." You'll be sitting there holding your hand like. So he had the big joker the whole time.
Yes,
One time for the fan. Shout out to everybody who's in here. Subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 200 subscribers. We started out with 4 when we first started doing this. Fans love it. I hopefully members of the Falcons organization, if they watch it, they love it. Anybody who's been on this show, we've gotten some good feedback. The fans love it. We've only banned one person from the channel, and it's a Saints fan. So I feel really good about that. We've only banned one person from One Time for the Fan, and he's a Saints fan. And he came in here talking. He didn't even say good evening, fellas.
He said, "Who dat?"
He come in here and he said, "Who dat?" And I said,
"We said we dat."
I'll show you. It was like this. We do that music, and I was getting ready to go down to that damn hit that button. I know he saw me too. Go back and watch that episode when I banned that fan. That shit was hilarious.
That was like 2 episodes ago, I think. Something like that. Yeah.
Hate week is real. Hate week is here. Falcon fans, hate on them Saints. Hate on them.
Hate.
We putting signs outside the bin say no live crawfish entering gate 1. Bring it to a rolling ball. One time for the fan. We want to say thank y'all. We're gonna be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. As always, we know we got our signature. One time to Terry Fontenot. One time for all the fans. One time for Bodie 3000. One time for the Falcons organization. One time for Arthur Smith. One time for Boo Man whenever he gets off work. Dez, Chase, and of course, our special guest tonight, the great Miles Garrett. One time for you, sir. Thank you for coming on here and blessing us with your knowledge. We're going to get you back later on the show, and we're going to be rocking out here from here on out. So we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Jack Spade, Bodie 3000. This is your hopefully your new favorite Falcon podcast.
Yeah, man, the hottest growing Falcons podcast in the nation.
I'm even going to drop the news for y'all about what me and Bodie has planned in December, coming up into January. But when you hear what we have planned for y'all for next year, for One Time for the Fan, how we're going to start out the new One Time for the Fan next year, y'all going to be like, oh, y'all boys on it. But I'm your host, Jack Spade, Bodie 3000. Time to go whoop him in Madden. One Time for the Fan.
He wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.